all of a sudden we're on a flight and we're going to pick who on the show is more likely to if the plane were going down. Would you like to?
Yes. Okay. Absolutely, yes.
Would be the first to pee their pants, Allie.
Oh, yeah. Controlling my bladder is not my forte.
Yes.
It's the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Allie.
I'm pretty honored I get the top spot today.
Oh, yeah. You know, sometimes I got to throw you a bone.
Welcome to the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast. If you have not had the chance to go back and catch the special Super Bowl, what we build as the replacement halftime podcast, you got to do it. I got to tell you, having a live studio audience completely made that so much fun.
It was so quick, though. It was almost too quick. We need to do it again, but we need it to be longer and maybe a little bit more planned out.
Yeah.
It was very last minute, me going, okay, guys, write down a bunch of questions and things that we need to talk about. You need to ask us, and then we'll go from there. And people did deliver. It's just that it was so short. I would like to do it in an actual like theater or something.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. I want to just riff. And especially because we could riff off of like people in the audience. So I think that we could get the best of all worlds. You know?
I completely agree. All right, plans to be made with that. In the meantime, the other thing, recapping the wrap up of the Super Bowl and all that, Allie, you would not expect the way that she talks about her cooking skills. You won the appetizer competition, first place with that trophy. Look at that.
Yes, I did. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And this trophy, which if you're watching on YouTube, it is beautiful. I love it. I was wondering because all of a sudden the trophy I had set on a table by our other trophies. And then it ended up back at my desk. I'm like, what the heck? But Scott wanted me to show it off again in case anybody missed it. So it is, somebody had asked me what it was made out of. It is glass, right? Isn't this glass?
Yeah, that part's glass. It's a vase.
Glass vase. Oh, wait, there's a price tag.
Oh, you know what you're worth.
Yeah, right? And then your girlfriend hot glued a football on there and then painted it gold. It's awesome. I love it. I love it so much.
You've got first place. There was a silver and a bronze, too, for the other number 2 and 3 on that.
Oh, now, what did those losers get?
Well, the silver and bronze trophies that look just like your gold one.
Oh, okay. Well, what's great is we can just pass this on year after year after year. So I'll get it this year and get to hold it in my hands. And then next year when I win again, I'll hold it in my hands again.
And then Tom Brady will win it for 8 years in a row. And
so I'm the Tom Brady of appetizers.
You are. Well, you better keep up on it then. You know, you're going to win it again next year. I have to admit to something before we go any further.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have ruined a priceless piece of art that was here in the studio moments ago. I was putting the blinds down that were behind me there, and we keep these, you know, just a couple little things on the shelf.
Knickknacks.
Yeah, little knickknacks.
Memories.
And I feel that I have destroyed a priceless piece of art, and I say that because I didn't know that it was on the ledge. Have you seen this thing before? If you're watching on YouTube, it's this wolf thing with the base. Well, it fell.
I never knew what that thing was. What is that from?
Who do you think it? Hang on. Who do you think it is?
I thought that you brought that in, and that was a gift for you.
No, that's number 20, and it says Riley, and I can't read.
You broke Riley's toy.
I don't. Well, not Riley, but what's that logo? Here, you take it. She's right across from me. So, like, what is it? I mean, do you? If it's, I'm concerned on whose it is.
I don't. Oh, Jesus.
Oh boy.
It is the Riley the Bona Wolf.
The Bona Wolf.
Let me see that.
Okay. I mean, is this something here's the foot. Is this something we should work on gluing and putting back like, you know, they did in the Brady Bunch where you didn't know that it was a replacement dog?
I know what it is. It's St. Bonaventure. It's their mascot.
Oh.
It's the Bonnies.
It was a bobblehead. Oh, okay, so
where would this come from and why do we have it?
I don't know. And I'm
trying not a Bona Wolf. It's a Bona Wolf.
A Bona Wolf. Ellie with the Bona Wolf. Bona Wolf. Okay.
Oh.
Well, my thing is, I don't know whose it is. If it's one of our coworkers, Matt, I'm afraid he'd see it in the garbage and be like, what happened? And I don't know what to do.
Then throw it away in the garbage.
Do you have a garbage over there? They'll never look over there.
No, I don't have a garbage over here. But if you throw it away at my desk,
Oh, nobody will see it.
nobody will see it because nobody ever goes over there.
And if anybody ever comes by and says, "Where's our boner wolf?" that
be
we'll
like,
just simply say, "I
I don't know.
don't know what you're talking about."
And then if they ever find it, you blame Ronnie, the guy who cleans our studio, and you say,
Oh.
Ronnie must have
bumped it when he was
Yeah.
dusting. I mean, the place is immaculate, but he's a
Whoopsies.
little clumsy.
Right.
Yeah.
Oopsies.
Yeah, oopsies.
I don't even know why Matt would have this. Like, did he MC something for them?
It's possible. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's one of those knickknacks that once it goes away, you don't even realize
nobody
it.
realizes it. Okay.
No.
Thank you. I was starting to feel bad. You've corrected that feeling completely.
Now, the other thing, I want to get right into this. Do you donate to or contribute to a group gift if you don't really like the person?
No.
Scott and I got asked to donate. Okay, I want to say it's not that I don't like them, but
right.
Scott and I got asked to contribute to a gift. And I saw the email for a second. I'm sorry, text, whatever. However it came in, man, I'm
Yes.
really sucking
Phone
at this.
call.
I'm really sucking at this story. I saw it come in and I was for a second go, maybe I'll give like $5. But then I opened up what the gift was, and it was a picture with essentially their career here. And I wasn't in one picture. I'm like, if I'm
Me
not
neither.
if I'm not in a picture,
Yeah, why? No.
then I'm not donating to this.
But I
this
think the
could've-
gesture of the gift that the giver was giving to the person that received it, it wasn't as, interestingly enough, the person that received the gift is not a person that we don't like or didn't like.
No, I like them.
Yeah.
Would I buy him a gift?
We'll come back to your question in a minute.
Sure.
However, it was a bold move to ask if other people wanted to chip in as this being the gift when it was really the progression of one person's career under this said person that is being said about. Now I'm sucking at this story. And it did not include, it wasn't like group worthy where
It had no pictures of anyone else in this building. It was weird. It had a picture of a guy who I think works in another building in our company. But okay, here's the thing.
well, maybe he should pitch in.
Agreed. So here's the thing. The guy who works for a different radio station and was in one of the pictures, this guy worked with the gift receiver years and years and years ago. He hasn't even worked with him on this stint here for our company. Is this confusing?
I'm following, but I've lived through it.
I know. And that's why I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, all right,
Because-
let's go back to your original question because, yeah, you're right. I mean, that we flushed out that one specific, yeah.
But I want to say one more thing about this specific one is I wouldn't buy him a gift anyway. It's not that he's a terrible person. I would buy him a drink if we went out for a drink.
Yeah, I
Or
think
would-
that's right.
I would pick up his meal because I did end up talking to this person recently. And I was like, oh, hey, I just want to catch up with you. Didn't get to say goodbye. And we did. And he was like, I'll be back in a couple weeks. Maybe we can go to dinner or drinks or something. And I was like,
Okay.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
That is when I would buy him a drink or two or whatever, or a dinner. I like him, but you're right. Number one, I don't like him enough to give him some gift that's just going to end up in a box.
Yeah.
It's so useless.
Yeah, well,
And the second thing is, although I will say our company before, for I think it was my 40th birthday, that some people had, I assume, put in and got a gift from, I think it was a bottle of champagne or something. They had done something nice for me for my birthday.
Sure.
And it felt really good.
Yeah, yeah.
It really did.
I feel that they also gave a gift that is not, well, frankly, like you said, going to end up in a box.
Right, in my belly.
I mean, said gift that we're talking about might be displayed somewhere. We'll never see it. It won't matter. It might make it to a wall or something like that. But I think
I'm not in the picture.
well, right, exactly. So in that case specifically, no. I do like the fact that they got you champagne. That was really nice. And I mean, again, fitting. It was celebratory for the birthday. Now back to your original question: would you pitch in for a gift for a person you didn't like? Honestly, No. And I'm going to tell you something else too. It's not that I don't like people that I work with, but it goes along the lines of a Secret Santa. And we did this for years and I hate it because number one, they put a cap on it for $15. Unless you like a lot of shit from Temu, there's not a lot that I can do here, you know?
Yeah.
And frankly, life's busy. So, I mean, it never felt genuine. It never felt...
Bingo.
You know, there was nothing to it that... I mean, it was a way to kill a lunch here, you know, around the holiday season. I'd rather do something different myself personally. Go out would be one of the things. But yeah, I'm not going to pitch in, you know, for somebody that no, it's just...
No, I think you said it right with the Secret Santa, because if there's somebody I didn't care for, let's say it was a different coworker that I really didn't care for, then it doesn't feel genuine. Or here's another one. I'm just thinking of like, if I have a group of friends and they are going to buy somebody a birthday gift that's like within the group, but I'm not like friends with or I'm not close with, that's another one. Yeah. I'm not doing it. It's not genuine. I don't care about this person. And I got one for you that also can equate to this. So recently, here's what I've come to in my life is the one thing that I have control over is what I spend my money on. And recently...
You finally got to that point in life, huh?
Yes. And recently I was buying products from a company. And this company has a very, very bold and brash owner. And they're on social media a lot. They came across my social media platform and they had some viewpoints that I thought were pretty disgusting. And like to the point of like disrespecting law enforcement, disrespecting multiple groups, like everything this person was saying, I was like, this is wild. I can't believe this person is successful. So what ended up happening from there was I canceled all my subscriptions with this company.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And the thing that I told them was, I get to decide where I spend my money.
Oh, you actually communicated with them. You didn't just take the money and go. You told them why.
Yes.
Very bold.
I had a tie into this company. And so, I just said, as much as, you know, the products have worked for X amount of time, I'm just not going to do it anymore. And I said, you're probably okay with it. That's okay that you're okay with it. And that's my viewpoint on the contribution.
Wow, that's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I did not expect for you to say that there was actual confrontation. I thought you were going to say like, oh, you know, I just ended my subscriptions, which, but to make a statement, that's good. Unfortunately, I feel the way you described it, I know nothing about the company, know nothing about the subscriptions, know nothing about the comments. But based on the way you described it, unfortunately, I feel you wasted your breath.
Probably.
I don't think that that's going to affect them to change. But
wait, hold on 1 second. But the owner did end up eventually going on social media and backpedaling on some of the comments, but not enough for me anyway that he could get me back.
Yeah.
But so enough people must have complained to make him go, well, what I meant was. And I was like, really? I don't think that's what you meant, but okay.
What you meant. Here's the thing, too. In situations like that where, you know, unlike us, where you're paid to give your opinion and you can like it or you don't have to like it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with whether you do or don't like it. I hope you do, or I hope you at least look at it in a funny way.
Of course.
Excuse me, I forgot to put that on mute. But
every time.
Yeah. But the thing about it is...
It wouldn't be a podcast if your phone didn't go off.
Right?
Wow, you're so popular.
There's lots to do. Hollywood is called. They're going to be in need of me momentarily for the stunt job.
Hold on, it's my agent. Let me talk to my agent.
Did you get me the pot? But back to this for a couple seconds. The part. Oh. Did you get me the pot?
Okay.
Did I say pot? I meant part.
It sounded like you said pot. I was like, you don't even
None
smoke
of that,
pot.
thanks.
Okay.
But at any rate, where was I going with this? Oh, you have to be careful. If you're not in a line where you are supposed to give your opinion, and if you're a business owner, you got to be somewhat careful, I mean, you need to, because overall you want to have, as much business as you can get your hands on. Now, I know some people might say, well, that's not what's happening in the world today. Look at social media. They're backpedaling on truth finding and stuff like that. No, they're kind of, I mean, if you think about it, in a case like that, they're kind of backing away from what became a hyper tense situation where nobody could say anything or have a thought or an opinion without somebody coming in around behind them and making them wrong in some way, or proving them wrong, or making them feel wrong. I'm not saying all the opinions were right. It's just you and I have described this. We have watched pendulums swing many times when it comes to different things. So there's a bit of a difference between the two. I don't want people to confuse those. But if you're in a small business, I'm assuming it's a small business. If you're in a small business,
it's not so small, but yeah.
Okay, well, if you're in a business and you want to have the masses, maybe keep the opinions somewhere else, or don't. I mean, look, there's a lot of times there's things I'd really love to say, but out of respect that I would not win every single person over, I'm not going to say it. Situations that will never get spoken of, because no matter what the situation is and no matter how right I might be,
you're going to lose.
I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
And I'd rather keep it to funny or fun opinions. You still may not agree with me all the time. And sometimes you might go, he's just being absurd. That's different.
Yeah. Also, I think that this particular owner, it seems by his opinions, he has an audience that he really wants now, where I think before, you're right, it was more of a mass appeal. And I know that he also has a podcast. So he has a company with a product. He has a podcast. He's out there to a certain degree. And I mean, of course, he's on social media.
Can he survive off the audience he wants?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
And so at this point, to me, it just seems like, well, now you're just funneling your audience to this very narrow audience.
Yeah.
And I don't know if other people feel like I did after seeing his comments, or if they were like, okay, that's his opinion. He has a right to it, but I'm still going to use his product.
Sure.
Whether it being compression socks or, whatever.
Everybody has a different opinion on it.
I know. But I just couldn't do it anymore.
No.
And the funny thing
good
is,
for you.
like, I'm sure there is the creator of this Propel water. I actually don't know their opinions on female in law enforcement, for instance, which was one of the topics that he was bashing.
Okay.
So I don't know their opinion on female in law enforcement, and I wish I could look up every company's opinion on everything, but I can't. But I know.
Do you really want to know, though?
No, I don't. Yes and no, because I really hope that Propel, for instance, has some of the same views I do. I don't know if they don't or not, which is where you're saying.
Obviously, both have a disdain for thirst. There's one plus.
Which is why I think you're right. They probably feel the same way you do, which is like, we're not going to get into that.
Well, look, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I'm going to make a suggestion on how to live your life. No, I'm going to make a suggestion on it. If the opinions present themselves to you and they don't agree with you, you do, with what you do. You have every right to do that and handle it the way you want. Whether you want to reach out and say something, whether you just want to part yourself from it, that's fine. I would say, unless it becomes very public, don't go searching necessarily, because sometimes there's an expression. You might find it more pleasing to want than to have. And it's a similar type thing. Maybe what you don't know is not a bad thing, because if you're
Sounds like you're saying ignorance is bliss.
No, because in this case where you were talking about this person, it was no longer ignorant. Well, yes, maybe it was. Maybe it was very ignorant. But in your case, it was not a situation where it was sort of hidden. It was right there. It was put right in front of you. You got affected by it. You dealt with it. Using the water company or whatever, know.
Not an endorsement, but I wish was.
Right. Maybe it's just better, Now, if you were going into a business arrangement with that person, you yourself, say you were going to become an endorser for Propel water, and you were sitting there going, I'd like to know more about your viewpoints on certain things. Well, they may not have any. They may just say, we don't involve ourselves in those things. We don't have opinions, comments. We don't take that side, except we prefer cold, not hot, then okay, so be it. If not, though, to just spend your life searching for a problem is going to drive you crazy. So don't do that.
It would. I don't want to take all the time it's going to take to research it. But once I dumped this one service, then I went to go to another service, and it didn't look like like how you were saying, they didn't have any opinions about any of these kind of things at all. They were just promoting their business. Now, this also falls in line with, let's say I am Allie's sweater company, and I might donate some of my money to certain organizations, which is very telling of what I support and don't support.
Sure.
So that's what some people also do too, is they might not buy from Allie's sweaters because Allie donates her money to Dancing Kittens, and I hate Dancing Kittens, So I know that's out there because, there are people who've turned their back turned
their back on Dancing Kittens.
No, I was going to say it like on Disney, because they're like, oh, well, Disney donates to such and such organization. And I don't agree with that. So that also is one of those telling things of, should I spend my money with them or should I not spend my money with them? But I can tell you, after leaving one service to the next, I did look it up because I was like, I don't want to be a hypocrite. But nothing was there.
Okay, there you go. That's different. You were just burned by a similar product. You were burned by Burger Joint A. You wanted to check on Burger Joint B before you became their friend. I get that totally.
Yeah.
All right. I got to give you a lot of credit, though. Good for you separating away from it and making the comment on it. Again, I don't think you're going to change the individual that made the comments, but you said your piece, and that's good.
And I can sleep at night now.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Go ahead.
You have another one? Because I was going to say, with what I have next, I may not be able to sleep at night, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Wait. So this is something that I received today. I have a group of guys that I grew up with, and we're coming on Valentine's Day. This is being recorded right before Valentine's Day. And he said, he's kind of a hairy friend. He goes, my girlfriend asked me to get all my body hair waxed off. What? She doesn't like a little hair? And then he's like, how much of this do I have to agree to upon this request? And I was like, at first we have a group message, and I was like, oh, this is kind of funny because he's such a hairy guy and she wants him to get some body waxing done. But then I thought about it the same for me. Like if Zach was like, oh no, I want you to cut your hair or whatever. I'd be like, no. So for him, I don't know if he should get his body waxed.
It's different, and I don't have an answer for this, but
you do.
Hairy men versus unhairy men and what women prefer. What is it in your life that makes you want one or the other? And I mean, because keep in mind, if you're a product of, the dolphin skin man approach, not a speck of hair on you, was a long run. Started somewhere in the 90s and went all the way through the parts of the 2000s, all the way up into almost the mid 2000s. Then we started.
Do you remember what they called that before you continue?
What was it?
Do you remember we used to always say that they were metrosexual?
Yes. But I mean, these were guys that it was the only thing you saw on TV, in movies, was the super cleanly waxed, perfect, not a speck of hair off their head or their eyebrows. And, that was a long trend, because if you go back to the 80s, everybody was hairy as a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And so it was somewhere in the 90s it started. It stayed all the way through the mid 2000s. Then we started allowing the dad bod, I think, did it. I think the return of the dad bod was like, you're going to be hairy. You're going to have hair in places that normally you don't see hair. And that's really supposed to be there in a lot of cases.
That's that pendulum swing that you were talking about earlier.
It is, but I want to know, and God almighty, I wish they'd do a psychological study on this. What is it? Because you're for the hair. Your friend's significant other is for no hair. What in life made you decide that? Were you a super fan of movies of the early 2000s where nobody had hair and you're like, that's the way every guy should be? Were you walking around and your dad's super hairy, Allie, and you're like, well, that's what I want is,
Well, I'm glad you said that because I think it is Freud. It's like that Freudian thing because I think my dad is a hairy guy and he always had a lot of chest hair and everything like that. I think, and everything like that.
Big
he just
gold
had
chain. No, it's kidding.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of those guys. His hair was always like peeping over, in it, like if he had an unbuttoned top button or something. I think that is actually it. I think you're right. That
you think that was it? Though was Dad hairy or not?
Right, right, exactly. I think that's exactly it. So if you
because they do say a lot of girls go after guys that are like their dad. Now I know
Yes.
it's not always the case, but
no, but I think that's a lot of it. And I think if your dad was metrosexual, then you're one of those people that probably goes for less hair on the chest.
maybe that's it.
I do.
Maybe that's it.
But I still have my opinion in this text message exchange was you shouldn't have to. Because if my significant other asked me to cut my hair, color my hair or something, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. Now, if I want to for that person, let's say, for instance, they were like, I find it attractive if you had shorter hair. Or, Allie, if you waxed your arms, whatever the stupid thing is. And then I kind of got thinking about it and I was like, oh, I want to do that for that person. Then I could see fine, but it sounds like he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think he does. I think he wants to step away from it.
Yes. And so I think that he should stand up to her and he should say, let's role reverse here. If I told you.
Well, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe you don't start a fight and say, let's roll reverse. What if he just came back with, I was thinking about it. I'm sorry. I just don't want to do that.
Wait, so now he can't even say, if I was to ask you to.
That's kind of fighty.
I don't think it's fighty necessarily, but just trying to open their eyes.
It's I know what you want to hear. You want her to go, no, I would not do that for you. But then she could say, oh yeah, I would do that for you if you wanted me to do this. So I would just say, for me, I would just say, that's not really my thing. I think I want to be like this. I want to walk around with a carpet on me at all times. I want people to question at the beach whether or not I have a shirt on or not.
Okay, then we'll come back and see what happens from this situation.
All right, fair enough. Now, I want to end on a high note.
Yes.
Actually, it might be a low note. And I mean, I don't want anyone to think me more insensitive than I already am, but we've had a lot of planes go down recently, okay?
Oh my gosh, there was another one just within the past 24 hours.
It was a fighter jet. The crew is safe, and I believe they were picked up by a fishing boat out in California. But we've had a lot of incidents with planes recently. So I got to thinking about this. Since you and I do the show together, and all of a sudden we're on a flight, and we're going to pick who on the show is more likely to if the plane were going down. Would you like to?
Yes. Absolutely, yes.
Would be the first to pee their pants, Allie.
Oh, yeah. Controlling my bladder is not my forte.
Yes. I mean, this is going to be a slow crash because this list is going on. So basically, the pilot is out of commission and we just are in the air till the plane runs out of gas. So we know the pending doom is coming, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would pick up their phone and try to make a call.
Wait, I want to go back to the peeing thing.
pee in the pants?
I also drink a lot of water, and I swear to God, you never drink water. So I just don't think you ever have to pee, where I always have to pee. So even if it was that little tray table that just poked my bladder,
You got to pee.
Right, exactly. Okay, what was the second one again?
Would pick up their phone to make a call.
Well, me too. It would be me.
Well, I was going to say it would pick up their phone to video everyone on the plane's reaction. That would totally be you.
That would be me. You're right. You're
and
right.
editing and putting it out on social before we crash.
Yeah, because I think for you would be making the call first because you're going to call your children.
Well, yeah, I'd call home first. Yeah, you're right. Try to make out with the person sitting next to them.
Okay. Me?
Are you serious?
I don't know. I mean, if this is the last thing.
These are the things.
No,
of the two
I don't
of us
want
on
to
the
kiss
show.
somebody at the end that I don't know. I'm
not?
definitely praying. That's for dang
Yeah,
sure.
well, that's not even on my list. Order another cocktail.
Both.
Scream, wee!
Oh, that is me. That is me. I'm the one that I've jumped out of planes. I did whitewater rafting.
So I'm sitting here. The plane's getting ready to go down. I'm like hand to the forehead, going, God, I can't believe I'm flying with her.
Scott's the one. We have flown together. Scott's the one that had to take a Dramamine and drink a beer ski just to get through. And I'm like, we're gonna be there in like 20 minutes. We're going
20 minutes was a 2-hour flight.
Whatever. We're going to Florida.
Well, 20 minutes for me.
Sit back, relax. That's where, I'm like, I'm ready for a nap, guys.
This is where it gets bad. Place the oxygen mask on themselves and not help anyone else.
Me.
Jeez. You probably would make me put it on you.
Both of us, I think, would be like, put it on, Kay.
Yeah, we're good. Light a cigarette.
You.
I'll take that one. Put their headphones on and pretend like nothing is happening.
Yes. So
and then I'd be sitting there, Allie, we're 10,000 feet off the ground. We just dropped 30,000 feet. Huh?
So at the same time, I am peeing, recording, listening to something, and
Yes. Oh, and ordering a drink. While in an oxygen mask. You're like a drunk Darth Vader on this plane.
All at the same time.
Yes, all at once.
Oh, Luke, where's my cocktail?
See you next week.
Bye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.